What it do, Dream Team? It's your boy Neal back with another reaction video, and we are back with Haley and her video on how my views on guns have changed since living in Germany. We reacted to her other video where she said she actually ended up getting a lot of backlash on this video, and so I'm intrigued to actually see this one. Like I've been waiting for this. But before we jump into it, I need you guys to hit that subscribe button, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media, Patreon, all up top. You'll subscribe to any of it. Follow the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Human, I talk back. If you got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon, or in the description section there's a Google form link. What we got, Haley?
Hi everyone, what is up? My name is Haley. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you do not know, now you do. Hey you guys, what's up? So in today's video, y'all, I'm going to be talking about something that I've been just avoiding on my channel for a while. But I filmed a video the other day, and while I was editing it, I got a notification on my phone that there was breaking news in the United States, that there was a shooting happening. And then I tried to research and see what was happening. I watched like a news live stream, and I saw that it was a kindergarten, first, second, third grade school or something around that age range, which means they were very young children. And at first I thought it was going to be like 1 or 2 kids, which is tragic anyways, but I didn't expect it to be one of the like biggest mass shootings in like an elementary age range in the United States history. So in my video, I was poking fun at guns and just like gun control in the United States, and I wanted to upload it the next day. But then I thought to myself, it would seem very insensitive, and people would probably be like, oh yeah, you made this because you saw the shooting and you wanted to talk about it or make fun of it. And that wasn't the case. I filmed it prior, and I'm still gonna upload the video, but I filmed it prior to knowing what was happening or what happened. I wanted to make this video when I think it was the Asian church shooting. I wanted to make it when the New York train shooting happened. I wanted to make it when the Buffalo grocery store shooting happened. I wanted to make it, which there was another little shoot. I say little because it wasn't considered a mass shooting, but no one talked about it on the news in the United States or in Germany. I mean, a few people did in the United States, but it wasn't a major story. That a man on a New York subway train, he worked for Goldman Sachs, which is quite irrelevant, but he was traveling either to work, from work, or out, and he was randomly shot and killed on the train. Like, and no one talked about it. It was just like normal news, like, hey, somebody got shot, and then let's go on to the weather. And then fast forward.
And that's how it is. That's what's so frustrating. Like it's just becoming more and more frustrating because all of these shootings are happening and they're continuing to happen. Yet we haven't done anything to change any kind of gun laws. Know what I'm saying? Like I said, I always say, I'm not saying take everyone's gun and ban guns. I'm saying make getting guns harder. Make the process of getting one harder. You feel me? Because we're doing nothing, and the same things keep happening. And to expect something different to happen while doing nothing, I call that the definition of insanity. You feel me? Like something has to change.
Like normal news, like, hey, somebody got shot, and then let's go on to the weather. And then fast forward a few days or maybe a week later, we have now the Texas shooting. And I'm going to be talking about maybe how I view this now since living in Germany. I'm going to talk about my experiences of like guns in Germany a little bit. And I'm also going to be talking about just like traumatic events and how my views have changed since living in Germany, and compare the United States and Germany in this scenarios. Okay. I've been extracted from the United States, I say it like this, from the United States for about 7 years. I believe it's going on 7 and some change. Granted, I have not spent 7 complete years in Germany. I think when you, how do you say, calculate all the time that I've been gone from Germany in between, I think it has been 5 years. And I go back to the United States and I adapt and I adopt to the culture, and there are some things that I pick up and that I relearn or unlearn, and then I come back to Germany, and it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle that I put myself through. But for the majority of how I view things, especially when it comes to major events like mass shootings, my views are more through the German lens, because I'm around German culture, I'm around German news, I'm around German people, I'm around just German, how do you say, pop culture as well, and culture in general. To put it into perspective for you guys, I have never cried regarding a mass shooting, but this one, I think it was the New York one, the people that went to the grocery store, and also the kids in Texas, I cried. I've never cried about a mass shooting, you guys. It really hit me and impacted me that you could be living your life, and granted it's only in the United States, you could be living your life, going to work, going to the movies, going on a date, going to school, sending your kids to school, anywhere, doing anything, and lose your life because one person decided to take it upon himself to kill all of these people. And I'm just like, this is not normal. I maybe used to think before I came to Germany that this was normal because it was, and it still is.
That's what I'm saying. It continues to happen here. Nothing changes, and it's so frustrating. Just this, after that Texas shooting, that one, I think that one just rocked so many people. But then it's just like people are rocked for a little while, but then you kind of go back to living your day-to-day life, and you start to forget about it, and it's frustrating because it's like it feels like nothing's ever gonna change, and I don't know. Something needs to.
To Germany, that every this was other normal can see because it was, and it still is. It's a normal part of American life, and that is the issue. And people don't understand that when you're constantly dealing with traumatic events, because this is a traumatic event, this is a crisis, this is catastrophic in the United States. They don't understand how much of an impact that has on your mental stability, on your psyche, just your health in general. For people to go through life, mass shootings happening every single day, every single week, and moving on like nothing happened. That means it has impacted you in a negative way because you've basically switched off your empathy, your sympathy, your perception of what is traumatic. And maybe it's a coping mechanism. Maybe it's just a way to deal with these types of things. I understand that. But it's also people just, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. And I know there's going to be people that say that there is gun violence everywhere. That is true, but I'm not talking about
It's not even close to what it is in the U.S. though, and in so many other places. It's not even close.
Let's say that there is gun violence everywhere. That is true, but I'm not talking about, let's say, gun violence in general, because it's still going to happen because we have guns on this earth, on this planet. And unless we eliminated every single gun, didn't produce any more guns, there's not going to be no or zero gun violence. So we're not talking about gun violence in general. We're talking about the exponential growth of gun violence in the United States when comparing it to other countries. A lot of Americans come in my comment section when I make videos like this and say, well, Germany has no guns, so of course there's not going to be any gun violence. That's not true. That is a lie. I know people in Germany personally that own guns, that shoot guns, that use guns. The difference between the United States and Germany is that not every Tom, Dick, and Harry can get a gun at a Walmart. That's the difference. That not every 18-year-old can go buy a gun from Walmart if they want to. That not every person, like in Texas, without a license or a permit can carry a gun. That is like the easiest comparison between the United States and Germany, what gun control, gun reform, socialism, as people want to call it, is. Because a lot of people have this false reality, this false narrative, this false idea of what is happening in foreign countries, which I find to be quite upsetting because if you've never left the United States, you've never experienced another culture, how do you think you know so much about it? And I'm not even talking about Germany. It's about the people that argue about other countries that have gun control, gun reform. Look at those people suffering. No, what's suffering is that when you go to the movie theater or you go to the grocery store and someone shoots you in the head, or when your kid gets shot at
how are they suffering when their statistics of people being killed by guns are way down or way low? No. What are they suffering from? People surviving? People not getting massacred? People not having to worry about getting shot? That's suffering? That's crazy. That's I agree with her completely on this.
Or you go to the grocery store and someone shoots you in the head, or when your kid gets shot at school, and you can't even identify them because they've been shot, I don't know, direct and close range, and their face is demolished. That is an issue. Not, I don't know, not being able to buy a gun because you failed a background check. Like I said, we're not necessarily talking about gun violence because guns exist everywhere. We're talking about the exponential rate. But I will humor the people that talk about, you know, gun violence in Germany, that shootings still happen. If that was the case, then Germany had such amazing gun control, then no shootings or deaths would happen, which, okay, whatever. I think since living here in Germany, I can remember 6 shootings. I don't know about mass shootings, but I remember, I think 6 or 7 shootings. The most recent one, I believe, was in January of this year when 2 cops were killed by someone that had like illegal meat in their car. He got pulled over, it was like a control, and I think the guy shot them trying to flee. But like I said, I think I remember 6 from 2015 to 2022. I think I listed 6 shootings with many more people dying in the United States in the last 5 months than I've had in 7 years in Germany. And it's going to be more in the United States. It's not going to stop here. It's only the beginning. It's not even half of the year. In 2022, there have been, I think, 200 plus mass shootings. And there have been 20 plus, how do you say, school mass shootings in the United States. If we were to take the days of the year so far, we have had more mass shootings than we have had days in the United States so far. If we were to take mass school shootings and apply them to a week, we would have more mass shootings in schools than we do weeks currently in the United States. And at some point, when the facts are staring you in the face, when numbers, statistics, graphs, all of these things are staring at you, screaming at you that there is an issue, you need to do something about it. It's like if I step on the scale and I see there's like a 5 kilo difference. I'm like, oh, well, damn, I need to lose some weight. I need to do something so it doesn't get out of hand. But if I step on the scale and it's 200 plus kilos, I'm gonna say, well, damn, this is catastrophic. This is morbidly obese. When other countries, when something like this happens, you know, they step on the scale, they see a high number and they see that there's an issue, they do something to prevent it from getting worse. In the United States, we step on the scale, we see a whole huge number, it's staring at us, and we're like, that's shitty, but I don't know how to fix it. You can also see the same.
She is literally preaching straight facts. If you don't agree with her, then I guess you're entitled to your own opinion. But what she is saying is right. Like, to have that many they've had less shootings in 7 years than we've had in 5 months. Like, to think about that is just sad. There have been more mass shootings in the year 2022 than there are days so far. More school shootings than there are weeks so far. Like, that's sad. That's ridiculous. That has to change. Like, something. We've got to do something.
Like, that's shitty, but I don't know how to fix it. You can also see the same thing with gun violence. You can see that since 2013, more specifically 2019, gun violence and mass shootings have been on the rise. I find it to be quite ironic that this happened in Texas, the state known as like the gun-free state, which every argument then regarding, you know, Texas is so safe, we have so many guns and none of these bad things happen here, and we have so much law enforcement, and look at us, we're a red state, and blah, blah, blah. It's a crock of crap. And for so many people in the United States to believe this is mind-boggling to me. That you cannot see that there are people lying to your face that don't give a rat's ass about you, that are making laws, passing laws that are literally killing you. You're getting murdered at the grocery store. You're getting murdered at school. You're getting murdered in a movie theater. And I'm like, why are you allowing this? But moving on, I also want to talk about the people that argue with me about the Second Amendment, and that the Second Amendment, you know, Bill of Rights in the United States, you were afforded certain liberties and rights as an American. And one of them, the Second Amendment, which I feel is the most popular, aside from freedom of speech, is that you have the right to carry arms, to bear arms, which basically means to own guns, and that nothing should stop you from doing that. And a lot of people like to take this literally. There are so many amendments made in the United States, so many changes made to these things in the United States because of the times, because of what has happened in the past, in the present, in the future. Things will change. Freedom of speech. You are allowed to say whatever you want in the United States, but you know what you're not allowed to say? Hey, bomb in an airport, fire in a movie theater. Why? Because there have been tragic events that have happened that shape how these things fit into our society currently. And apparently, if we've had the most mass shootings that we've ever had before, and they keep growing and keep getting bigger, and they're 30%, 50% higher already now than they were in the past couple of years, something needs to change. And the Second Amendment, you guys, that was made in 1791. This was made when people had muskets. That, I don't know, took a minute, 2 minutes to load and shoot. The founding fathers had no idea that people were going to be buying guns to shoot up schools, to shoot up grocery stores, to shoot up train stations. They probably couldn't even conceptualize or see that we would be living with cars that can literally drive themselves. They didn't even know what a car was, let alone that a gun can shoot rounds, literally hundreds of rounds in seconds or minutes. That is not fathomable for these people. Yes, they probably knew that stuff was going to change, but they had no idea that it was going to be this type of change. When this law was put into place, we did not have a military. We did not have a standing military. We did not have a police. We did not have like a law enforcement. And also, back in the day, there were no freaking grocery stores. People needed guns.
She is out here preaching right now. She out here preaching. Somebody give her a sermon because she is preaching. All you gotta do is listen. All you gotta do is open your mind, listen. Don't know what I'm saying? Just be open-minded and listen to what she's saying, and you understand completely that she's right. You know what I'm saying? That she's right.
And also, back in the day, there were no freaking grocery stores. People needed guns to shoot stuff, to protect themselves from bears. They needed to shoot a rabbit or something if they saw a deer, get dinner down the street, get a deer steak. You know, they needed to be able to do these things because back then, that's what life was like. Now, what do we need guns for? What literal reason do we need guns for? In the United States, anywhere in the world, is it because we're afraid of the military? You think that you, with your tiny little pistol, with your tiny little shotgun, with your tiny little rifle, even let's say your semi-automatic, automatic weapon, you think that you're going to be able to prevent the military from taking over you? You're telling me that you don't think, before you could even look at your gun, that the United States military could not swoop in, fly in, kill you, eliminate you? They could literally push a button, fly a drone 1,000 miles away from where they want to attack something or someone and annihilate them. You're thinking that you can stop that with your tiny little gun at home? Please, yes. Okay, we have a martyr. The lack of common sense, the lack of intelligence, and it just goes to show that these types of people, the ones that are arguing against this, they don't need to own guns. They're not intelligent enough to own guns. And that's the issue with the United States, is that we have so many people that have no idea what the heck they're talking about, what the heck they're doing, and having access to guns. Everyone says it's bad people with guns. Why is it that a bad person in the United States can so easily go get a gun, illegally, legally, what may have you, and shoot up a school? Why is it there are guns in Germany, even if they're not available to them, they can still attain it illegally? Since you guys like to say, well, people in the United States that do this, they're just criminals and they attain the guns illegally. Okay, so why don't they do that in Germany? Why don't they break into people's houses and steal guns? Why is it that in the United States that is so common to happen? Why are people not protecting their guns? Even let's say if it's a weapons store or a store that sells weapons. Yes, people can go in there, break in there, steal guns, steal weapons. But why is it so easy for people to go in and steal weapons? It should not be easy. It should be one of the hardest things to do in the United States. How is it that people are just grabbing guns left and right, shooting people left and right, bad people, criminals, illegally obtained weapons? Why is this happening? I have said this and I will say this over and over again. We need gun reform. We need gun control. We need gun laws. We need gun regulations, legislation. Yes. We need all these things. And if you are...
Yes. Keep preaching. We need everything she is saying. She is completely right. I will keep saying it till the end of the video. Like, after seeing all these things, it's almost disgusting that we haven't changed anything. It is disgusting. And it's ridiculous.
Regulations, legislation... We need all these things. And if you are a good, decent person that has nothing to hide, that has done nothing bad or illegal in your past, you shouldn't be against people educating themselves about guns, being able to handle guns properly, going through a background check, requiring safety measures of locking your gun when you own it in safes. You shouldn't be against people needing, mental checks. You shouldn't be against all of these measures, because it just means a better environment for you as a gun owner, and also just the whole culture of gun ownership would be more pleasant. And so when people argue with me against gun control and gun regulation, it makes me side-eye you because of how many other amendments we've had in the United States, how many changes to amendments we've had in the United States. Those are fine. Those are okay. A lot of y'all are benefiting from those as well. Men, women, Republican, Democrat, a lot of y'all are benefiting from these things. But when it comes to something that was created or written in 1791, that we can't change because, God forbid, I don't know, we're living with horse and buggy carriage back in the freaking wild, wild west days. I know that me ranting has no impact on this, but I'm still very upset, very hurt, and I wish there would be a change regarding this. There are other ways to live, you guys, not in fear and not with gun violence knocking on your doorstep every day. That is so very common in the United States. So with that being said, I'm going now. I love y'all. Have a wonderful day, and bye.
We appreciate you, Haley, for saying that, for ranting, like, you're completely right. Things do need to change. Like, it's point blank simple. Nothing else needs to be said. These things that you talk about, gun reform, gun law, all these background checks, like, they have to happen. They have to. That's all we got for this one. If you guys got a favorite video you want to see me react to, you can subscribe to Patreon, leave a suggestion, or in the description section there's a Google form link. Hit the link, fill out your suggestion, send it to me. You want me to get to yours faster than others, fill out premium. Make sure you hit subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media, Patreon, all up top. You're subscribed to any of it, pull all the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Love talking to you guys. You guys are the most incredible team on YouTube. It's your boy D Neal. Out.